Hello, you're watching BBC News, the latest headlines. At the COP26 meeting, a major step towards eliminating the use of coal, one of the most harmful energy sources. But most of the big polluters are not on board. The host nation, the UK, says 46 countries have signed up to end coal use. The Ethiopian government says it will continue its fight against Tigrayan rebel forces, despite growing international calls for a ceasefire. The government says it's on the brink of victory, but Tigrayan forces have been advancing towards the capital and seizing key towns in recent days. And the World Health Organization has described the current surge of coronavirus in the wider Europe region as a warning shot for the entire world. Europe saw almost 1.8 million new cases last week alone. The WHO says Europe is again becoming what it calls the epicenter of the pandemic. Now, a new study suggests that cervical cancer has been virtually eradicated in young women because of the HPV vaccine programme. Around 3,200 women are diagnosed with cervical cancer in the UK each year, and 99% of these are caused by the human papillomaviruses. But cases of the disease have fallen by nearly 90% among women now in their 20s who were the first generation to get the jab. The vaccine is offered to all girls and boys in the UK at some stage between 11 and 13, depending on where they live, and up to the age of 25 if they missed out at school. Our health editor, Hugh Pym, has this report.
3 women give their perspectives on an historic day and a big leap forward for medicine with the success of the HPV vaccine. Evie missed out at school, but then found she could get the injections on the NHS.
I've now, at 23, got the vaccine. This news is just really, really good because you can just see that the changes are happening and the vaccine's working.
Lynn highlights the huge fall in cancer risk for those vaccinated.
The fact that that can be just drastically reduced by 90% is just such good news. Fantastic.
Penny had cervical cancer, but it was picked up early thanks to a smear test, and after a major operation 3 years ago, she's now clear.
I'd had 3 kids. I had no intention of having any more children. So although it was major surgery, for me it didn't have the same impact that it might have on somebody, on a woman who gets diagnosed in her 20s, who hasn't had any children, who is faced with the option that they have to, have a hysterectomy and they're not going to be able to have children naturally.
In 2019, vaccines were extended to boys. They'd been introduced in 2008 for girls. Age ranges of between 11 and 13 differing slightly in the UK's nations. HPV can cause some cancers, including head and neck in men, and the vaccine could help prevent those. No wonder scientists are talking of a dramatic breakthrough.
It's a really historic moment to show that at last we have this concrete proof that the vaccine is actually stopping people from getting cervical cancer. So it's an incredible story of the power of science and research and what we can achieve when we put that into practice.
The vaccine could make a big difference in developing countries like Laos, where it's been introduced for girls. 90% of deaths from cervical cancer are in low and middle income countries where access to screening is limited. There have been calls for action to eliminate cervical cancer, and that goal is now several steps closer. Hugh Pym, BBC News.
Now on BBC News, it's time for Talking Movies.